From the football pitch to the breakdance floor, Coach Horace has lived a life of passion, energy, and community spirit. Join us for the final part of our conversation as he reflects on his journey and shares his hopes for the future.
And until they break that narrative, we are going to be the same about year after year after year. But youths will play the football and then they get conditioned to it and used to it. This is what happens when you go to this is what happens when you go to Mansfield. This is what happens when you go to Sutton Ashfield. This is what happens when you go to... And then what happens then is basically about why are these youths thinking that they'll be mistreated because of their ethnicity by going to these areas. And that's that bit about this kick racism out isn't being... It's a word, but I don't think the narrative is...
What happened to that actually?
I think it was pumped at the time because of the... all the arguments about all the racism on the side and the rest of it. But it's one of those things where it blows and then it cools. Then it blows and it cools. Wait for the next incident to happen and then it blows again. So that's some of the conversation you're going to have with him again tomorrow. Because he's saying they've been given the task from the FA, and Nottingham is one of the worst bits. Nottingham's got the biggest, because I think Leicester and Derby, they haven't got a youth. They've had to disband it because of this, whatever. So Nottingham's got the most youth football teams or whatever, right up to under 18s. So the fact of the matter is by me then getting into it, they're getting into me, which I don't understand. Why they've got into me, would you not then go straight to the FA? So now I'm going to be... I can talk about 3 or 4 instances where basically... What's the point of me then saying this complaint to what's happened on the side, and then all what happens then is nothing happens, but then somebody says, I said this, I said that, next minute the game get abandoned. But I get fined because I didn't play the game. So I'm like saying, what? I goes, well, and I've got real stories, I've got 3 stories. And then the worst thing is basically that the FA then, not FA, then have to then justify to them about basically, what are you doing in relation to black players, black teams where they're predominantly black, whatever, are they protected? I will then say to them, they're not protected, because what happens, you've got that narrative. But basically, if I bring my youth, I constantly having to go like that with them, just do what we can, just make sure that we whatever. And then they're all shocked when they see my team go out, and they're not that narrative. And they go, ooh, your lads are really nice. What do you expect them to be? You got a brilliant team. Yeah, no. I was expecting these hooligans. I was expecting this and I was expecting that. And we don't get protected by their referees, because as soon as we at the present moment, and that's the hardest bit, I don't know how I'm going to break it, we're going for a tackle. We're going for a tackle, we'll get warning or we'll get yellow card. They're going to tackle and hurt us, and now we roll over and we kick. Hey, calm down. It was just a fair tackle. That's the narrative what the boys are dealing with. They're going to turn to under 16. That's going to be my worry, because they're big lads. They're not going to be 50-50. I want them to then go in 50-50. They're the ones who's going to be the one that's going to get punished. So this is probably the best time to happen, because at least then I can actually show evidence that basically what we get. They don't get the same treatment.
And another thing is that we need, we as black people, as a whole community, we need to step up, because the DEIs, they are trying their hardest to get rid of them. Since reforms came in, they're trying their hardest to get rid of them. Not even since reform, Donald Trump. And everything filters across the pond.
Yeah, it's filtering, right. And I think what it is basically like the more we then cement ourselves that we're not tolerating this, this is not going to happen, the better it is, because that's why a lot of teams are falling by the waistline, and a lot of them, they do that thing where it's unconscious, where you can continue to keep finding them, they at some point won't have any more money, they can't put a team out. Then the white team goes, oh, I like him. Right, you know what we've got to do? We've got to hassle that team to the point where that team can't function anymore. Then those players then go through it. So the team at the moment, checking all the black teams and getting all the funding and getting all the other, is Basford and DL.
Is that, you're not even ramping when you're saying it, are you?
No, that's what's happening now. They're the ones that's getting the teams. They're all the black. When I went there yesterday, I've never seen them in black youths in there. But the person who's making all the money, because it's a business, it's DL Football Club, it's a business. So them youths are paying £40 a month. The coaches are unqualified. The facility is nothing. But parents, because what he does, it's a clever way he does it, have
Marketing.
the elite, but he's taking, put them up there, win, take them abroad, everybody then go, oh my God, I want to be with that team, oh, they're so fantastic, oh my God, I want to be with them. He sells a dream, just like Basford sells a dream. All them individual buy into it. They buy into it because whiteface, because when Spencer was doing what he went, oh, leave that. So that's why this new DL team has come over to Notts FC, because players are being taken from his team to then boost up his main team, which is his showcase team. And everybody wants to be in the showcase team. And then what happens then is, right, he would then promote, right, oh, I'll take one of your lads here and he can be part of the team. Basford does exactly the same thing. Right, come and join our academy, and then you'll be part of, possibly might get into the first team.
Possibly. And that's the thing. People do, like I say to the kids, your wordplay.
Yeah.
Because possibly doesn't mean that I am.
Yeah. But they don't get it. And that's where mentors tell them the honest talk. Are you gonna make it? No, you're not. But you could actually get in. You could do something professional.
Yeah.
You can then play under 18s. You can whatever. That's the real talk. But what happens is we used to say, "Oh, keep going, whatever. You're definitely gonna make it. You're really on that level, whatever. You definitely making it, whatever." And the use of appearance of pain, and then reality checks. And you go, "Wait a minute. I've just paid like X amount, and what's happened? I've just wasted all that money for what?" So I do the real talk. You're not going to make it, but you definitely will make it. You're so professional. You definitely can play for this team and play for that team. You might not get paid, but you still do your love. But you've got to always have your second door, which is a job. What job are you looking for? Electrician, joinery, banker, builder. What are you going to be doing? Because you can't put everything in football because you can get injured today.
So it's that having that second plan.
Yeah.
It's that fallback plan. So, I'm going to try and shimmy through so I don't get a ticket. Who were some mentors or figures that influenced your coaching philosophy?
Oh, gosh. I think the Arsenal manager, previous Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger, I think it's much. Oh, Michael Johnson, when I did some little work with him, and he's still involved in the football, ex-player for Notts County and Birmingham City. Another one, what's his name? Mark Nangle. Again, I worked with him at Hucknall Town. Ex-professional footballer, played all over in England, and he went over to Amsterdam. And he again inspired me as well. That, you know what, I can do this. And then another one, and I think he came over to England, and he was the last line of, one of the last lines of inspiring me is Pat Samba, who's come over to Nottingham. He's spoken to me and he got advice and seen how to do it, and he's done so well since coming over from his international footballing and developed so many different lads. And also he's had that philosophy of not just doing the coaching, but giving real dreams the opportunity to thrive in the sense where you work hard and I will give you this. And I think that has been one of the biggest things where he's kind of made me feel that if you say those kind of way,
word is bond.
Word is bond, and that's how he's always been. And he's just gone clear now because his word his word has been his bond, because he's gone all over the world and he's taken players, particularly from Nottingham, all over the place. And he's the biggest thing in the sense of a ex-player, coach, where he's brought me involved in loads of different projects, what he's done over these years, and it's kind of like inspired me. And who I'm working with now, with the guy, Dr. Michael Bruce, which is based in London, ASE, he's now inspiring me as well, because he wants me to work with him, with my players, knowing about under 16 going to under 18, to then kind of develop a link with him, because he's doing the same sort of scenario what Pat Samber's doing, and he wants me to set something up within Nottingham in that same way as a development school or development achiever for young footballers, with all those aspects of development of their mental self and physical self and aspirations.
So I like that actually, and that you kind of like. Do you know what? I was gonna say. So what's next for you? And is there any major goals or projects like on the horizon? But it don't make no sense because you kind of like answered that question. You answered 2 questions within one.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's a blessing for me actually, ticket wise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, alright, is there a particular moment or success story that stands out for you in your career?
I think that in my career, what the biggest thing, what kind of stand out for me in all what I've just said is, again, working in school. This young lad basically not achieving. Nobody could reach him. Nobody can kind of get close to him. But he had one interest, was football. Horace, can you work with him? Yes, I'll work with him. Realise right from the start, basically, like, it's football, football, football. And I then said to him, because I was then linked with Chesterfield doing scouting, I said, well, if you just go to your lessons, do all what you need to get done, I will get you a trial at Chesterfield Football Club. And he said, really? I said, yeah, I will. And he worked hard. He wasn't perfect, but he went to lessons, did all his stuff. And then when it come to exam results day, and it's year 11, he got the highest amount of GCSEs than all his whole year. And then I went, wow. He must have had about, I think it was 14 different GCSEs for different things. Then what made it even more like, whatever, I said, right, I'm taking you to Chesterfield. I took him to Chesterfield. The managers loved him. He was ecstatic because, again, I went with his parents, took him to Chesterfield, got in, and he played up front for the under 15s, under 16s. And he was playing there for about a year. And then when he came of age of, I think he was 17, 18, he said, "Oh, Horace, I want to go to America." And then he then filled in all the forms to go to Camp America, whatever it was, and went to one of them university for 3 years, and then he went over to America and did football coaching. Plus, you have to do some sort of qualification. He passed that. It was that's the journey of what he'd been through, And when you see him and you see him out, you give him that hug, and he gives you that hug back. His gratitude, his parents' gratitude, that's my biggest and main kind of achievement of his achieving, really.
I like that. Now I've gone stump. So let's just jump back and just quickly scan through these things. Alright, what impact do you hope to make beyond the sport itself?
A positive role model of a man. Because I think that's all I can do, in the sense that I mean what I say, I'll do the best I can, and I'm honest with what I do, what I can or can't do. And then what happens then is that you get what you get from me.
Short but sweet.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Damn, goddamn David. My mind's gone stump. No, but like, on a different level. So, forget like the personal questions.
Yeah.
I'm professional questions. It's
Yeah.
like, why do you do it?
I think I'm scared. Cause sometimes I do ask myself why I keep doing what I'm doing. My mum said, "Oh, are you gonna start?" My missus said, "Why you keep doing what you're doing?" Whatever. And I'm going. I think I must just love the fact of it's just coming in my head as I said it. The smile on the face. That's just coming in my head as you said it. The smile on the face, because they're happy. And when they're happy, then I'm happy. So I must do it because I bring joy or happiness to individuals. It's got to be. Because it's coming out of my head. It must be. Because there's no monetary from it. I get tired from it. But when I've done it, I go, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. And then Mrs. going, oh, why you need to, you're doing it 24/7, are you going to have a rest? And I think if I took my foot off the pedal, I think my fear was what would happen to them. And that's why I've got with these lines. The fear is if I stop, because Horace, you're going to give it up. And I just think, if I gave it up, my fear will be...
Who's going to step up in your
place?
Who's going to step in place? And carry through.
And I look around.
Carry your torch and keep it burning.
And I'm looking around, and I can't see anybody.
I hear that.
I just see frauds, I just see people what just says it's whatever. So I'm thinking, you know what? Nah, Horace, just keep them. Because when you go to training, and you see them falling about, laughing and giggling, chatting their bag or whatever, but they are a group of young men growing up together. And they'll get married, and they'll call him and him and him. They're in trouble, they'll call him and him. They have a business, oh, my man's got that job, my man's got that job. So you kind of like setting what I set on 3-4 occasions, even to the point when my son, who's 39, 40 years ago, when he was the same age as them, he's grown up with man. And all them man are all, even to Tory, where basically I coached his brother, his dad, and he was in the same team as Eugene, and the next minute, Tory is in my gut. So it's kind of like that.
Continuous circulation.
Yeah.
Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young.
didn't care, if Martin didn't care, if Bob didn't sing no songs, if Rosa Parks said, alright then, sorry about that, I move along. If Nelson didn't keep determined, Gandhi got